You hover over your balance sheet like a nervous sparrow, pecking at Google for net worth by age, hoping the numbers save you from doubt. I see only opportunity. Tonight we climb decade by decade, your messy 20s where debt screeches, the pressure cooker 30s that demand systems, the fork-in-the-road 40s, the urgent 50s where leverage still exists, and the 60s when hesitation can ruin the hunt. I'll show you how a vulture measures progress, when to strike, and why waiting for perfect conditions leaves only bones. And at the end, we'll answer the one question that echoes in every mind circling this desert. Exactly how much is enough? To quit the chase forever? If you value a predator's perspective on money, click the like button, subscribe, and join the flock above the herd. You wake up convinced you are late. A friend flashes a new imported car. A motivational reel declares anyone under 6 figures at 30 a failure, and the banking app pings like a taunting metronome. But who fixed that stopwatch inside your skull? Comparing net worth to a stranger's. Highlight reel is gauging distance with a crook compass. The cruelest lies are curated, not spoken. No one uploads the overdraft fee, the pawn shop ring, the sleepless nights counting debts. Google net worth by age, and you encounter an average, an unholy chimera that blends inheritance with hustle, surgeons with baristas, windfalls with wage slips, a single figure that hides more than it reveals. A negative balance in your 20s is not a scarlet letter. It is a chrysalis. Tuition debt, thin salaries, reckless weekends. This is incubation. A vulture knows the carcass is not ready the instant it falls. It ripens in silence. So we hover, eyes unblinking, while the herd sprints nowhere. The game never rewards the first across an arbitrary line. It rewards the one who knows when the race truly starts. Panic spending, status chasing, frantic side hustles, footsteps of prey blind to shadows. We chart the terrain instead. We follow cash flow veins, interest rate winds, behavioral currents, and with one precise descent strip value others overlooked. Feeling behind is a mirage cast by selective disclosure. You fall only when you imitate the lost. Stay aloft, study the field, and let the illusion dissolve. Ahead lies the discipline of tiny investments, the decisive fork of midlife, and, in the chapter everyone whispers about, the exact figure that grants freedom from the chase. Keep circling. The truth is almost warm enough to feed on. They told you the early years were just a warm-up. Bet your 20s and 30s were for figuring it out. But those who circle above know better. That's when the feast is hidden beneath the dirt. While others chase trends, panic over avocado toast, and scroll past advice they'll regret ignoring, we are already digging into the marrow of time. Because the power of these decades isn't in the paycheck, it's in the habit. You see, a worker ant stacking $50 into an index fund each month doesn't look like much. But compound interest doesn't care how flashy you are, only how patient. Every dollar planted in your 20s grows roots others won't see for years. And those who begin early, even with scraps, soon outrun those who waited for a better time to invest. You don't need to predict the market. You just need to show up before the crowd smells the opportunity. But building wealth isn't just about money. It's about automation, consistency, a spreadsheet that tells the truth. Most people don't fail financially because they're reckless. They fail because they don't track. If you don't know your numbers, you're not in the game. You're bait. In the company you keep. Vital. Surround yourself with dreamers, not drifters. Talk about money, not to brag, but to build. While others hide their balances like secrets, we learn by watching, asking, comparing. A flock that flies together spots the wind sooner. These are the years where invisible victories happen. You won't post them, you won't brag. But in silence, your system takes shape, and when the skies shift, you'll already be positioned. Quietly, powerfully, like a vulture that's been circling since dawn. keep flying. The most dangerous years are still ahead, and the most valuable decision is yet to come. By your 40s, the air begins to thin. The view becomes clearer, fewer flocks in the sky. Some fell early, others grew heavy with habits that no longer lift. Here, you either take control or gravity does it for you. Because this is when the wind shifts. The free fall of youth ends. What remains is momentum or resistance. Up here we watch them. The ones who earned well but saved little. Who bought the house thinking it meant safety. Who thought being comfortable was enough. But comfort, like warmth, dulls the instinct. You begin to believe the paycheck will always come, that the market always recovers, that retirement is still far away. That's when the real danger sets in, the illusion of time. See, by now, the patterns are set. Your salary may be decent, your expenses fixed, but wealth doesn't come from income. It comes from intention. This is the moment to audit your systems. Where is your money bleeding out? How many tools are working for you while you sleep? Are you still reacting? Or have you begun to design? The vulture sees a different horizon. We sharpen claws, not to scratch, but to grip, to hold what matters. We increase contributions, not because it's trendy, but because we understand leverage. A single % more now can turn decades into dividends. Most don't realize they're still playing defense. They try to cut expenses while ignoring the real lever, income. This is the decade where conversations matter. With partners, with parents, with yourself. What does freedom cost? What will the next decade demand? And who will make it to the other side with more than just a salary to show for it? Because by the time you notice the fog, you're already off course. Take control now, or drift quietly into the same fate as the herd below. Asterisk, asterisk, everyone hunts for the magic number as if it were carved on a hidden obelisk, the precise stack of cash that muzzles alarm clocks and bosses alike. They whisper 500,000, a million, 5. Campfire folklore for sleepless minds. From above, I see the truth. The number is not a point but a threshold. The moment capital works harder than sinew. When you glide instead of grind. First, translate life into cash flow. Strip the costume expenses, the impulse trophies, the noise that bloats the ledger. Keep only what sustains you and what makes you feel alive. Multiply this by a safety margin timid grazers ignore. Then invert the fearful question, how long will my money last? Into how little yield must it earn to last forever? At 4%, 25 times your annual needs forms the skeleton. At 3, 33 times. Choose the yield that lets you sleep without one eye open. Yet, a number without a deadline is a mirage. Fix a horizon 10 years, 15 whatever matches your altitude. Divide the gap by the remaining paychecks. Hear the click as a fantasy hardens into a monthly target. Prey animals blink and look away. Predators automate the transfer, raise income when the ratio slips. Guard the contribution with talons. Compounding does the rest, silent and merciless. When passive cash finally eclipses your living cost, another question emerges. Do you dare land? Many cannot. They circle from habit, terrified of dissent. Freedom was never the money. Freedom was the courage to release the branch. Run your calculation tonight, share the gap below, and watch excuses scatter. If this vantage feeds you, strike the like button, subscribe, and stay with the flock for the next ascent.